Welcome back to the Paranormal Inc. Ohio podcast. I'm your host, Ed, and tonight we're diving into one of the internet's strangest and most unsettling urban legends. I know I say that with every episode, but they just keep getting better and better. The stairs in the woods. Imagine hiking deep into a forest. No houses, no buildings, no signs of civilization. Then out of nowhere, a perfectly normal staircase, standing completely alone. No foundation, no walls, just stairs. Would you climb them? Because according to countless stories, you absolutely should not. Tonight we'll explore where this legend came from, the chilling stories behind people's claims. Are their claims true? Possible explanations, and why this tale continues to haunt people around the world. So dim the lights, turn up the volume, and let's step into the forest. For centuries, forests have been places of mystery. They're beautiful during the day, but after sunset, they become something entirely different. Every snapping branch sounds like footsteps, every shadow seems alive. Nearly every culture has stories about forests hiding things that don't belong in our world. Then around 2015, a story appeared online that changed everything. A man claiming to be a search and rescue officer said there was something rescuers rarely discussed publicly. During searches for missing people, they would sometimes find staircases. Not broken ruins, not abandoned homes, just staircases. Standing alone in the middle of nowhere. According to the story, experienced rescuers had one simple rule: never go near them, never touch them, and never climb them. The post spread across the internet almost overnight. Thousands of readers wondered, was any of it true? Or was it simply one of the greatest horror stories ever written? The mystery only grew. The anonymous writer claimed veteran rescuers treated the staircases like they didn't exist. New employees who asked questions were simply told, leave them alone. No explanation, no discussion, just walk away. Why? The writer never really answered that question, which somehow made it even scarier. Our minds fear the unknown more than anything else. Soon, other people began sharing their own experiences. Some claimed they had actually seen staircases while hiking. Others remembered finding strange concrete steps as children. Many said they never thought anything of them until reading the stories online. Could there really be hundreds of abandoned staircases hidden throughout the forest? Or was our imagination filling in the blanks? As we continue tonight, we'll hear the strangest encounters people have reported and ask whether something supernatural could really be waiting at the top of those stairs. Now that we've talked about where this urban legend came from, let's get into the stories that made so many people afraid to look at the woods the same way again. Remember, there is no verified evidence that these stories are true. Most come from anonymous internet posts, personal accounts, and campfire tales. Whether they're fact, fiction, or something else in between is up to you to decide. One of the earliest and most famous stories came from someone claiming to work in search and rescue. According to the account, finding random staircases wasn't unusual. They appeared in forest miles. From any homes or roads, some were old wooden staircases, others were concrete. A few even had decorative railings, as if they had once belonged in a beautiful house. The strange part wasn't that they existed, it was where they existed. No foundation, no walls, no rubble, no signs that a building had ever stood there, just stairs. The writer claimed that experienced search and rescue teams would quietly avoid them, and a new volunteer asked what they were. The veterans would simply tell them to stay away. No explanation. Just leave them alone. Another story described a rescuer who couldn't resist getting closer. As he approached the staircase, he suddenly noticed something strange. The forest had gone completely silent. No birds, no insects, no wind. Just absolute silence. If you've ever spent time in the woods, you know that's unnatural. Forests are full of life. Even at night, you'll hear crickets, owls, leaves rustling, or distant animal calls. But according to this story, everything stopped. The man felt overwhelmingly fear and intimidating. immediately turned around, leaving without touching the stairs. Then there are the hikers. Over the years, people from all over the world have claimed to find staircases while exploring remote trails. Some reported old stone steps covered in moss. Others described bright white staircases that looked almost new. Many said they felt strangely drawn toward them, almost as if something was inviting them to climb. Some even admitted they started walking toward the stairs without realizing it at all, only snapping out of it at the last second. Whether that's psychological suggestion or something more mysterious, no one knows. One of the creepiest accounts tells of a hunter who discovered a staircase deep in the forest during deer season. Curious, he climbed halfway up. The higher he went, the colder the air became. At the top, he looked around and realized the forest seemed different. The colors looked dull, the sounds were muffled. It felt as if he wasn't standing in the same place anymore. Terrified, he climbed back down. When he reached the ground, everything immediately returned to normal. He never went back. Another chilling story involves a photographer hiking through the national forest. She spotted what appeared to be an old staircase leading nowhere. Thinking it would make a unique picture, she raised her camera. Every photo came out blurry. She changed lenses, still blurry. She cleaned the lens. Nothing changed, still blurry. The moment she pointed the camera away from the stairs, everything became perfectly clear again. She packed up and left. Some listeners may already have a perfectly reasonable explanation for these stories, and you'd be right to question them. Many forests contain old homesteads that have long since collapsed. Stone or concrete staircases often survive because they're much stronger than wood. Over decades, nature swallows everything else. Trees grow through foundations, brush covers debris. Eventually, all that's visible is a staircase. That's a completely logical explanation. But here's the problem. Many eyewitnesses insist these stairs weren't near ruins at all. No bricks, no foundations, no broken glass. Nothing. Just stairs. Standing alone. Could memory be playing tricks on people? Could the stories have influenced what witnesses believe they saw? Or are there truly places in our forests that defy explanation? That's exactly what we'll explore next. Because some of the most disturbing stories don't involve simply finding the stairs. They involve people who claim they climbed it. And according to those tales, some never came back the same. So far, we've explored the origins of the stairs in the woods legend and some of the eerie stories from hikers and alleged search and rescue workers. Now we arrive at the question that was fascinated and terrified people for years. What happens if someone actually climbs the stairs? No verified cases exist showing that anything. I know the story that we told previously had the man climb the stairs and climb back down, but there was no documented evidence that that even happened. The supernatural does happen, but the urban legend is full of chilling tales about people who claimed they did. One of the most common stories says that the closer you get to the stairs, the more the world becomes different. The world around you changes. The forest grows unnaturally quiet. The air becomes colder. Some people report a strange pressure in their ears, almost like driving through the mountains or descending in an airplane. Others describe feeling as though they're being watched by something hidden, just beyond the trees. Then comes the urge, again and again. Storytellers say they felt an almost irresistible desire to climb. Not because they were curious, but because it felt like the stairs wanted them to. Whether that's simply human curiosity or something far stranger is impossible to say. According to one tale, a man climbed to the top of the weathered concrete staircase in the middle of the forest. When he reached the final step, he looked out across the trees. Everything looked normal, yet something felt wrong. The wind had stopped. The sunlight seemed dimmer. Noises were muffled. Even the colors of the leaves appeared faded, almost though the life had been drained from the forest. He suddenly felt overwhelming panic and hurried back down. He later claimed that for weeks afterward, he had vivid nightmares about those stairs, always ending with a shadowy figure waiting at the top. Another popular story tells of a woman who discovered an old wooden staircase while hiking with friends. She climbed several steps before hearing someone call her name. It sounded exactly like her sister. The only problem, her sister wasn't with her that day. She turned toward the voice, but no one was there. When she rejoined her friends, they told her they had never heard anyone calling. Stories like this appear in folklore all over the world. Many cultures warn against following mysterious voices in the wilderness, believing they may belong to spirits, tricksters, or something more dangerous, far more dangerous. Another unsettling account describes a hunter who climbed to the top of the staircase and looked back the way he had come. Instead of seeing the path through the trees, he claimed he saw only thick gray fog. When he climbed back down, the fog disappeared instantly. Was it fear playing tricks on his mind, or something else? Of course, there are no practical explanations for many of these experiences. Forests can distort sound. Fog can appear quickly. Stress, isolation, and expectation can make ordinary events feel extraordinary. When people enter a situation believing it's haunted, their brains naturally become hyper-aware of every unusual sound and movement. That's part of what makes this legend so effective. It blurs the line between psychology and the paranormal. Then there's another theory, one that has become incredibly popular online. Some people believe the staircases are portals, not magical doorways you can see with your eyes, but thin places where our world and another world overlap. Supporters of this idea point to the stories of missing time, strange lights, and feelings of disorientation. It's important to remember there's no scientific evidence that these staircases are portals to another dimension. Sorry, you guys are going to hear my dying clock again. Still, the idea has captured imaginations around the world because it taps into one of humanity's oldest fears. What if there are places we're simply not meant to go? Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of this legend isn't the stairs themselves. It's what they represent. A choice: you can walk away, or you can climb. And once you've made that decision, you may never know whether what happened next was real, or whether your mind became the scariest place of all. In the final part of this episode, we'll explore real abandoned staircases found in forests, why these stories continue to spread, and whether there's any truth hidden behind one of the internet's most enduring urban legends. We've explored the stories, the alleged encounters, and the theories surrounding one of the internet's most fascinating urban legends. Now it's time to ask the question we've been building toward all night. Is there any truth to the stairs in the woods? The honest answer is, no one knows. Despite the countless stories shared online, there has never been verified evidence that mysterious staircases are connected to the supernatural events. No law enforcement agency, search and rescue organization, or scientific study has confirmed the extraordinary claims often associated with the legend. So where do these stories come from? One explanation is surprisingly simple. Across North America and any other parts of the world, old homes, fire lookout stations, hunting cabins, and farm buildings have been abandoned for decades. Over time, nature reclaims them. Wooden walls rot away, roofs collapse, and foundations disappear beneath the leaves, vines, and moss. But concrete and stone staircases often remain. Years later, someone hiking off the trail might discover what happened, and what appears to be a staircase leading to nowhere. Without the rest of the building, it's an eerie sight. Our imaginations do the rest. Psychologists have long known that humans are excellent at finding patterns and creating stories to explain things we don't immediately understand. Add an isolated forest, fading daylight, and a story you've already heard online, and even an ordinary staircase can feel deeply unsettling. Still, not every witness believes there's a simple explanation. Some insist the staircases they find couldn't have belonged to any building. Others claim GPS devices stopped working nearby. A few describe feelings of overwhelming dread that vanished the moment they walked away. None of these experiences have been independently verified, but they continue to feel and fuel the real-life legend. And perhaps that's exactly why the story has endured. Unlike any or many urban legends, the stairs in the woods doesn't rely on monsters jumping out of the darkness. It relies on uncertainty. A staircase is an ordinary object. There's nothing inherently frightening about it, but when it's standing alone in the middle of the empty forest, miles from the nearest road, it suddenly becomes something else, a question without an answer. Whether you believe the stairs are remnants of forgotten history, products of vivid imagination, or something beyond our understanding, one thing is certain. They've become one of the most memorable modern urban legends ever told. So if you're hiking someday and you stumble across a lonely staircase deep in the woods, what do? Would you investigate? Would you climb it? Or would you quietly turn around and keep walking? I'd love to hear your answer. If you've ever had a strange experience in the woods, encountered something you couldn't explain, or have a local legend from your hometown, send it to the Paranormal Link Ohio podcast. You can send it to paranormalhelp937@gmail.com. You can go to paranormallinkohio.com. That'll take you straight to our Facebook page and business page, and you can message us there. And I would want to feature it in a future episode. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, be sure to follow the podcast on your favorite platform. Leave a rating or review or just a comment, and share the show with someone who loves ghosts, haunted places, cryptids, and urban legends as much as we do. Until next time, keep your flashlight close, trust your instincts, question everything. And if you ever find a staircase standing alone in the middle of the woods, maybe, just maybe, don't take that first step. Thank you for listening to the Paranormal Link Ohio podcast. I'm Ed, and I'll see you in the next episode. Good night. Stay curious. Thank you, everyone, for coming and checking out tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I love each and every single one of you, and I do these because of you guys. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye, everyone.